guys, and welcome back to Jen on the Rocks. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that is probably very challenging, and also it's a very sensitive subject. But because anniversary date recently passed, I wanted to kind of address this issue for those that are in a similar situation. So, for those that don't know, I had an older son who would have made 18 on Friday. And it's been 15 years since he passed. However, that particular day, I woke up feeling a certain kind of way. So, when I woke up, my first mistake was logging on to social media. I typically don't do that, but because that day is such a, in your feelings kind of day, I was trying to distract myself, for lack of a better term. So I logged on to social media, and I see all these happy events taking place. People have children of the same age graduating, and they're planning graduation photo shoots and graduation parties, and they're planning for prom, and they're planning for all of those events that go along with graduating. Well, with me, being the mother of a child that passed away, and he would have been 18, and I would have been planning those same events, I began to feel, okay, so here's the contrast. Typically, on his birthday or the anniversary of his death, I'm, sensitive, or, I'm sad or something of that nature. This particular year, there was anger, there was rage, there was hostility, there was, I'll even go so far as to be honest and say that there was jealousy. And not necessarily jealousy of, people enjoying these events, but, it's like my son would have been 18. And it's like, I'm not experiencing those events, and that sucks. And it just, it's one of those, this is not fair kind of moments in life. And so the first thing I want to address is that whatever you feel, whether it's rage, anger, hurt, neglect, whatever it is that you're feeling, your feelings are truly valid, and you are entitled to feel what you feel. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Even if it doesn't make sense to anybody else, you're entitled to feel how you feel, because those are your feelings and it's your perspective. And so I think a lot of times, what we get caught up in is that people try to tell you how you're supposed to feel or rationalize your feelings, and that's not an accurate thing, because nobody questions when you're happy. Nobody ever asks, why are you so happy? Nobody ever asks you to validate or rationalize why you're happy. So the same should apply to all the other emotions that we as humans are entitled to feel. And so, I felt, that's how I felt. And, it's just something that I learned this year. Here it is, I've had these feelings off and on throughout the years, but this particular year, I'm pretty sure it has a lot to do with the fact that I've been addressing a lot of my feelings this year, because for most of my life, I've always carried my feelings in silence, and I never addressed them. And more than likely it's because of how I was raised. My mother was not an emotional woman. She rarely spoke about her feelings. You rarely saw her cry. And, it's the same situation with me. But ultimately, my opinion is that's not a healthy thing to do. It's not healthy to bottle up something that you were created to feel. You were created to have these emotions. That's why we have them. And so to me there's a time and a place for everything. So if you have that particular emotion, it's the time for you to have it, and you address it, you deal with it, you face it head on, and then that way you can let it go faster than if you were trying to bottle it up and keep it suppressed. So, I had a moment, and my mother's gone, so I couldn't talk to her. I didn't want to burden my best friend, and so I ended up calling my big sister. And so I called my big sister, and while her response wasn't the most adequate response that I would have liked, she did do something that kind of brought things back into perspective for me. So she prayed for me, and as she was praying for me, she prayed for my children. And it brought back into perspective that no, I don't have my first child. I don't. And it hurts. It sucks, you know. However, I have been blessed with three beautiful, amazing, awesome kids. And I may be biased, but that's just how I feel. They are absolutely amazing, and they make my world. Like, they make my day go by. I can't imagine my life without them. And it's like everything I do because of them. But it's not like it's just a chore or it's a responsibility or this is what I'm supposed to do because I'm their mother. I do it because I genuinely love them, and I cherish the time that I have with them, because I know the difference between having a child and not having a child. And so I take it every day as a brand new day, and I don't take for granted that, oh, well, when we wake up tomorrow, everything will be the same. That's not always the case, because in the blink of an eye, something can happen to change your dynamic. And so I think a lot of times we lose sight of, while we may not have the things that we want to have, we still have something that is just as valuable, just as meaningful. And so if we nurture the things that we have, the people that we have, the relationships that we have currently, it will assist with us being able to move forward and let go and move beyond the things that we don't have. Now, I'm in no way, shape, form, or fashion telling you guys or myself to forget the past, to forget people that existed, to forget the hurt. I'm not saying that, nor would I ever. Never forget. If you want to hold on for the rest of your life, by all means do so. However, don't allow that to be your main motivation, because holding on to hurts is not healthy. When you think of the person that you miss, or you think of the child that you no longer have, think of the happy moments. Think of what made your spirit bright, what made your countenance bright. Think of the moments where they put a smile on your face. Think of the moments you put a smile on their face. And, use that to find the gold lining in your cloud. And don't use it as a woe is me kind of moment, or a Debbie Downer kind of moment. Look for the positive in everything, because it's there. All we have to do is just take the time to look for it. You guys be great, and we'll see you next time.